Hi guys, and welcome back to the Wealth and Wellness Studio. I'm your host Natalia, and this is my co-host
Kat. Hi guys.
Hi. We are so excited to be hanging out with you again today. Kat and I were just having a conversation before we turned this on today, but we know that the Wealth and Wellness Studio is still so small, but I was just telling Kat like how proud I am to be doing this consistently, because we truly are just documenting behind the scenes of building our empires with you guys and hoping and excited to see you guys build yours too. I was just telling Kat, like, it's such a small amount, but like, even knowing that there's like 340 of you guys that like tune in every single week and that are following us, like, it's like not a huge number, but to me, I'm like, wow, like there is a group of people who's also trying to get hotter, happier, healthier, wealthier, and trying to build their dream empires. And like, I feel like there's a little community that's forming and like listening in. And I just want you guys to know that like, we really, from the bottom of our hearts, appreciate you. And we're like so ecstatic to be like, there's going to be a whole community of people just like leveling up in every single way. And most importantly, like not just in like status is arbitrary like that. I feel like just so you guys know, like that's really like the last thing that I think Kat and I care about. I think like what's most important to us is like the process of becoming, and how beautiful that is. So that's just like a little bit behind the scenes of the Wealth and Wellness Studio, but we just wanted to say thank you guys. And if you haven't already left us a review, we would so appreciate it.
But only if it's 5-star.
Only if it's 5-star. Otherwise, just DM us. Tell us what you hate. We'll take it. There's a lot of things that, guys, we know that we can improve. Like we're still figuring out our like camera setups, and I like that is something that I get so overwhelmed with. But you know what? We are making progress every single week, and pretty soon you're gonna watch the first episodes and be like, wow.
And it is kind of just the process of it too, of us also mastering, well, I don't know about mastering, but getting better at this area too, right? Hopefully we'll see progress. It's just up from here.
Exactly. You know, honestly, before we even get into it, Kat, I feel like the butterfly. So when Kat and I first designed the logo, I think you came up with the butterfly, and I have started to resonate so much with the butterfly. I was even like, wow, this would make such a cool little like micro tattoo somewhere. But I was just like, the butterfly I feel like is such a great representation of the whole Wealth and Wellness Studio, because truly I'm like, it's the process of becoming, and like all this is so cheesy, but like all the stages of a butterfly's like life. It's like when it goes into the cocoon, like sometimes you feel ugly, like sometimes you feel like life is just not working out. And then someday like your wings finally come out and you metamorphosize and you fly. And I feel like that's such a like symbol of like entrepreneurship and life and self-growth in general. I don't know. I'm like really happy you picked that symbol.
And even like the process of metamorphosis, right? Like the act of becoming. And I think that's exactly what we do and we aim. And like Nat said, it can be cheesy, but there is so much beauty into it. And we're like, let's harness that part.
No. You know, Kat, what we should do is I want to make a screensaver for the Wealth and Wellness for our phones, but also to share on our Instagram for anyone in this community who like, wants to be a part of it. So be on the lookout, guys, because and if you have any ideas of what you want on there, but I feel like we'll do something related to getting hotter, happier, healthier, wealthier, building your dream life. But back to this episode. Also one more thing. If you guys don't already watch the YouTube version of this, we have a YouTube audience too. And we have the video version on there. So if you're listening on Spotify or any other streaming platform, definitely go on there, and also follow us on Instagram so you can stay up to date with what is going on in our lives. And Kat and I also like to like reshare where we're at in our travels, our adventures, our business on there. So definitely go check us out. Today, we are going to be talking about laziness and being dysregulated, and how a lot of times I feel like we're all so hard on ourselves for those seasons. I don't know if you've ever had that moment where you have so much on your plate, but you just like can't get out of bed, or you're just procrastinating. You're feeling lazy. You have brain fog. You don't know what to do. Could be parasites. Go listen to the last episodes. But like
that detox.
Yeah. But maybe I feel like we've all been in those seasons of feeling lazy. And today we're going to be talking about nervous system regulation, because a lot of times, which we're going to get more into this, but a lot of times you just might be in freeze, which is shutdown mode, and your nervous system might just be super dysregulated. And that could be part of the reason why you're struggling to like move forward in business, move forward in your personal life, move forward in all of these areas that are going to get you closer to the goals that you want to have. So Yeah, that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm really excited because this is a topic that has affected me personally a lot.
Me too.
So, yeah.
Very much so. And I've thought that I was not damaged, but damaged for
Yeah,
it.
I'm broken. There's something wrong with me. Yeah.
But it's part of it.
Mhm.
To start off, right before we dive into some of the topics we want to talk about, I wanted to share, we were kind of doing a little bit of like research and just discussing about the topic. And there was a few quotes that I found. These are not my quotes. These are not our quotes. These were some other incredible thoughts of some other amazing humans out there. But we just really resonated with a lot of them and we wanted to share. So I'm just going to read off some. One of it is the nervous system holds the key to your body's incredible potential to heal itself. And that's what we're going to go into a lot, which healing, as it's getting more and more proven, starts in the mind before it goes on to the physical. And it's harder to achieve your goals if you don't have a place where you're comfortable with up in here.
Wait, sorry, I'm gonna butt in for a second, but we're gonna do another episode on acne journey. But guys, all of my gut issues, well, not those are also parasites, but my acne, my gut issues, a lot of my anxiety was based off of an unregulated nervous system, and I didn't even know that was a thing. Like in my Eastern European family, like nobody really talked about nervous systems, therapy, mindset. Like we just didn't do that.
Yeah,
and so
very traditional. Like very traditional medicine, which I'm not saying that that's bad, but in terms of like, you don't go into the thought, the mind part of it. You just stick to the physical. And that's something that was new, which I can definitely relate to.
And it affects disease and anyway, keep going. Yes.
Yeah. Perfect. The other one that really resonated with us and I wanted to share with you guys, which was, you can't hate yourself into healing. Okay. So this is something that is super important because as we're going to talk about it, and as Nat and I have experienced, you will go through these waves where you think, okay, something's wrong with me. Like there's actually, I don't know why, I'm demotivated. I can't do this. I have brain fog. Like it's me. It's a problem that's me, which in the big picture, it is you, but you can change. Yeah. It's not like you're stuck to that and your identity is tied to it. So yeah, don't hate yourself into healing. A lot of times we can get just caught up in the space where you self-victimize and you just get stuck in your own thought and then you can never grow out of it. The other one is the last one, which is, if you listen to your body when it whispers, you won't have to hear it scream. And that one is also just pretty much what it says is, take the time to listen. You are feeling these feelings for a reason. And a lot of times, and the best thing for you to do is look at it as a tool and a way of your body telling you that something has to change. So,
yeah, no, I wanted to piggyback off of that because especially the second quote you said about you can't hate yourself into healing. I remember like so instinctively, it was a couple years ago. I think it was like 3 years ago. I was really struggling. Like that summer was like awful summer for me. I still hadn't figured out what I wanted. Maybe it was 4 years at this point. Hadn't figured out what I wanted to do. I was kind of talking to this guy. Turns out he was talking to his ex the entire time. You know who I'm talking about, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It was so horrible. I was in another country for like the whole summer. Like anyway, but it was like such a like hard time for me. My acne had broken out like worse than it had in my entire childhood, which I always had bad acne. So like it was bad. And I was like struggling with disordered eating too, which I know that Kat and I have done another episode about that, actually really resonated with you guys. So I feel like we should definitely talk about that again at some point. But I was like in this like obsessive, like hatred of my body, hatred of my skin, hatred of my life, like phase. And I remember like having a moment sitting down and journaling, being like, I think I read that quote somewhere and it stuck out to me so hard. And honestly, I think that was like one of the pivotal moments of starting me onto a journey of being like, I can't nitpick myself apart into feeling better. Like there's just like hatred does not get you there. Like just does not heal you. Like it starts with like love. I was like, it has to be from like a positive vision of what I want to build, not from a negative vision of how much I hate myself. And that was like such a pivotal thing for me. Yeah.
Sure. And your body will realize, like, if you're giving yourself those messages that I hate myself in this stage, I hate this and that, totally. Your body will self-sabotage itself. So
exactly.
But anyways,
so, to get into it, we're going to start with talking about The nervous system. So your nervous system has three main states. So you have your regulated, which is your safe nervous system, where you're occupying your body, your mind and body are connected, like you're actually present, which again, Kat and I talk about this all the time. To me, the greatest goal in life for me is to have a regulated nervous system. Like that is richness to me.
Peace of
I don't
mind.
want peace of mind. And my boyfriend always says peace of mind, quality of life. But yes, so that's regulated. The second one is fight or flight. This one we also, a lot of us have heard about, know about, and this is what people typically think of when they think of anxiety or having a dysregulated nervous system. I think the third one that some people still don't know about is freeze, which is this like shutdown mode where this shutdown mode where you're basically like your body shuts down, your brain shuts down, and you just like can't move, like you're like frozen. And I think, like we talked about before, some of us mistake laziness for freeze.
I do that.
And there's also a fourth one, guys. It's called fawning, which is basically people pleasing. That's another form of nervous system dysregulation, which a lot of us have experienced. Hello, me. But let's go back into freeze for a second, because a lot of times what happens, and I actually have, from back when we used to be called the Rare Wellness Podcast, I actually have a full episode. It's like an hour and a half long with a therapist who talks about how to get out of freeze. So definitely like scroll back. It's with Dr. O. She's incredible. But so if you want like more of like a scientific aspect of this, like go back, we have that resource there. But a lot of times when we're in freeze mode, what you have to do to get out of that state is to like gently like wake up your body and like, again, get present in your body, because like you're so shut down and like dysregulated. So we have like a couple of different like tips and tools that we're going to go into of what helps us and what helps other people. And we would also love to hear about how it helps you. But so what causes freeze though, a lot of times is like chronic stress or trauma, constantly being stuck in survival mode, low energy, low motivation. You're unmotivated. You're in freeze mode because again, your body doesn't feel safe. So Kat, do you want to talk about maybe like some of like the symptoms of what freeze can look like for people?
Yeah, for sure. Something I do want to mention as well is that this is like, it is a state that you have to get, like, obviously get out of, and it's something that our body naturally puts ourselves into it. And it doesn't mean, like Nat said, that you're exactly lazy, but it means your body's going through this phase. But it is super important for you to, although, acknowledge that you're in it in order to get out of it, and not excuse that you're in it in order to not do things. So
that is so good.
Yeah, because you can get into that state. There's two ways of doing it, which you get into that state and you're like, well, I'm in this state, so I guess I'll just do nothing. And there's the other, well, I'm in this state, what can I do to get out of it? You know?
Yes, and that is the perspective that we're taking today.
For sure. Like Nat had mentioned, there's a lot of different symptoms, brain fog, fatigue, you doom scrolling, you just get numb to it. That happens to me. Okay. I will say I am the first to fall to that. And then it also connects with other things like binge eating. And because like Nat mentioned, your brain is in literal, what the word says, in a freeze mode. It's just not functioning properly. But the good thing about it is, like we said, you can take accountability of it, realize you're in this state, and take action upon it. And there's a few things that you can do to help get out of that state and to incentivize you getting back to that regulated state where you're actually getting stuff done and you feel safe. So now I know a couple of these you do quite a bit.
A lot of them.
Prioritize.
Really big difference in like my mental health. But anyway, yeah. So here's a lot of the things that have helped me. And these are actually a lot of things that Kat and I do. And I feel like you do some of them better than I do. And some of them are habits that help me. But I think, again, with this, it's so important to remember this is a toolbox. You don't feel like you have to be obsessive or like religious about like doing all of these things every single day. It's just like, I'm a big believer in listening to your body and knowing what it needs. Like if you listen to your body, you'll know like, I need a morning walk today. I need gentle movement, or I need a cold plunge. So we'll get into it, but just a reminder that don't feel like you have to be all. I think a huge mistake we all make when it comes to wellness and progress in life in general is this all or nothing mentality. So that's just like a disclaimer. But One of the things that helps a lot can be for when you're in the state. Again, remember that depending on your health, personal health challenges and what you're dealing with, you're going to need like your own customized recipe. But cold plunging, if you're stuck in a freeze state, can help because it stimulates your vagus nerve and it helps activate your body to like come back in the present moment. It almost like shocks you into coming back into like reality and snapping back into it. Another one is breath work. So think box breathing or 4-3-4-7-8 breathing, which if you guys know what that is, box breathing is like you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. Or 4-7-8 is you breathe in for 4, hold for 7, breathe out for 8. And then sunlight in the morning. Kat, I know this is a habit that I feel like every time I'm with you, you're really good at like going on a morning walk. I feel like you do that a lot, at least when you're in Portugal.
No, for sure. And it's not just okay. One thing that I do have to mention too is if you're if you're able to with your life structure, get a dog because they will force you to go out. And that's what happens to me. Is that I do create a habit, but yeah, just getting that vitamin D and the direct, not through, it can't be through glass, not a mirror, like a window.
Yeah.
It has to be that direct sunlight. And it's just, I prioritize a lot for that. It also has other added health benefits. So when you do that kind of low intensity workout, I don't really know if I can say it as a workout, but when you do that low intensity movement, your body actually, before you eat, it's a great way to burn off fat. And again, it's on a fasting state and you do that, it is very beneficial to your
so many reasons. Yeah.
Exactly. So there's other additive benefits, but the biggest thing is just getting that warmth, that vitamin D directly on your skin. It's just so important. It wakes you up. You also have the benefit of going out in nature. If you are in a nature setting, that you can hear the birds and the breeze and see the trees and everything. If you're in a city, that's fine. You can see you can look at people. You can there's so much beauty all around you, and it really puts you in a state, especially if you do that first thing in the morning, where you're a lot more you're paying a lot more attention to the detail because you're more awake, or it's just your day has just started, so you're taking everything in. Even if you don't realize in the moment, subconsciously it makes a huge impact, and that's why it helps a lot with your mental clarity to just get out of it. I mean, a lot of times we hear it a lot that, if something happened and things are not going well, just go for a walk, think about it. So,
and the big thing too is when you do gentle movement and like really focus on like mind body connection. Again, like this doesn't have to be yoga. I think yoga is like I've found a really great tool because it's not just about doing the movement, because you can do movement dysregulated. Like you can run a marathon and still be in your head the whole time. But like whether you're on a walk, just like think about what does my body feel like at the moment? What does the sun feel like on my skin? Like, what does it feel like to lift these weights? What does it feel like? And like, just like focus on getting into your body. It can really get you into the present moment.
For sure.
Yeah. I love that. And then the other ones as well are like track your cycle, adjusting output. If you're burning yourself out because you're doing too much in the wrong phase of your cycle, which we can do a whole episode on cycle syncing. We also have one of those from early on in the season, with Cycle T. So you can also go listen to that. And then,
Matt has become a specialist in this. Okay, guys.
Yeah, that is like,
he's always educating me.
Half the brands that I work with are cycle related. So I have so much I'm so passionate about. This is a different topic. And I love like no stimulation, like get off of your phone, let yourself rest. Don't feel guilty for resting, but take some proper rest, like real rest. Yeah. And then to kind of like tie this into business as well, like, I don't know. I think it's really hard to show up, to post, to pitch, to create if you're constantly in a state of overwhelm.
Yeah.
For
sure. And creativity, like guys, there is no way you're going to be able to be creative and actually get things done if you're in this state. No matter, it is better for you to just drop what you're doing, go do something that is going to get you out of the state. Like a few things that we mentioned about. There can be other things, like for you, if it's a place of like, I don't know, pottery or other things that you do that really helps you just to get out of your head and add intentionality, and be able to get out of that cycle, then do that. There's a lot of different ways. It's not only these ways. These are just ways that have worked for us and we've used.
Yes.
But don't keep going in a path that it is making you frustrated and it's not adding value. You're wasting time. You're wasting energy. And you can actually be adding so much more value to whatever you're doing if you take those 10 minutes, lose them off on the work, add it to something else, and gain those 10 minutes back by being so productive and a lot more mentally there.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. So guys, if this episode helped you a little bit, or if you've ever experienced freeze state, just know you're not alone. If you need rest, don't judge yourself. But these are just some strategies that, like Kat said, have worked for us. We would love to hear from you. Drop a comment below, DM us. We love interacting with you guys. And let us know what you want to hear in future episodes. And stay getting hotter, happier, healthier, and wealthier. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.